If we're going to multiply polynomials, the only thing we need to remember to do is distribute. So, for example, if we're going to multiply these two polynomials, so here we have a binomial because there were two terms, and we are multiplying by a trinomial. So let's just distribute. The first thing we need to turn our attention to is this x squared, and we need to distribute that to each term in the trinomial. So if you look at this, we have x to the second times 3x to the fifth. We know that we're just using the rules for multiplying monomials. Multiply the coefficients, add the exponents, so that's going to give us 3x to the seventh. Then we know we're going to distribute the x squared to the negative 4x, which is going to give us negative 4x to the third. And finally, the x to the second times the 1 is plus x squared. We're done with that, so now we need to turn our attention to distributing this 2x to each of these terms. So 2x times 3x to the fifth is going to give us plus 6x to the sixth. And then we are going to distribute the 2x to the negative 4x, so that's going to give us minus 8x squared, and then we have plus 2x. Then we just need to combine like terms. So let's just see what we have here. We have just a single x to the seventh, so we know we're just going to be left with 3x to the seventh. The next lowest term is the this 6x to the sixth, so we'll have plus 6x to the sixth. The next lowest term is, I'm going to cross them out as we're done with them. The next lowest term is minus 4x to the third. And then we have two terms that involve an x squared, and 1x squared, and a negative 8x squared. So that's going to give us minus 7x squared. And finally, we are just left with a plus 2x. So that's our final answer. You might have done this differently in the past. You might have written this in terms of boxes. So notice our binomial takes up 2 boxes. So I'm just going to fill in each box and multiply. So for this box, I need to just multiply x squared and 3x to the fifth. So that's going to give me 3x to the seventh. In this next box, I know I'm going to have negative 4x to the third. And in the last box, I'm going to have 1x squared. In my lower left-hand box, I'll have 6x to the sixth. I'm going to have negative 8x squared, and then I'm just going to have a 2x. And I still need to combine like terms, so I'm going to go from the highest exponent down to the lowest. So I'm still going to have 3x to the seventh. Whoops, let me clean that up a little bit. 3x to the seventh plus 6x to the sixth minus 4x to the third minus 7x squared plus 2x. So you could do that as well. Okay, the other thing we need to talk about is what you probably knew as foiling, which is when we're multiplying two binomials. So suppose we have a binomial. Let's say we have 2x plus 5 times, 4x minus 7. We're still going to distribute first the 2x, but the 2x gets distributed to the 4x and the minus 7. So that's going to give us 8x squared. And then the 2x times the negative 7 is going to give us negative 14x. Then we need to distribute the 5 to both the 4x and the negative 7. So that will give us plus 20x and then minus 35. And then we're just going to combine like terms, which are the two middle terms. And that's going to give us 6x. Now, the other thing with FOIL is you want to get so that you can do this really quickly. You don't really want to write these out. So you might have something like, let's do 3x plus 2, x minus, let's say 9. Okay, we know our first term is going to be the product of these two. So I know that that's going to be 3x to the second. We know the final term is going to be the product of 2 and negative 9, so we know we're going to end up with a negative 18. But for the middle term, we know we're going to have a negative 27, right, the product of these two. So let's keep that negative 27 in our heads and also a 2x, a positive 2x. So the middle term is going to be negative 25x. And you want to get used to doing that as well.